What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Game Freak. Today we are going to talk a little bit about Blaze, Evercade. Um, I've been seeing a lot online in different social media like Facebook and stuff, where a lot of people are really wishing that Blaze would do a Sega collection cart, which would be absolutely awesome. Sega has so many good games. Love Sega, but the more I sat and thought about it, I was like, do you really think that if they do make a Sega cart, that they're going to give us the best? Are they going to give us like Golden Axe collection or a Sonic collection? I personally don't think that they will. And the reason I'm saying that, and I'm not bashing Blaze or anything, but it just seems like they'll get these uh, different companies and make these collections, but it just doesn't seem like they give us the best games from those companies. My point here is, these Sunsoft collections, Sunsoft 1 and 2. Sunsoft, I love Sunsoft. They make so many damn good games, and for some reason, they just did not put good games on these carts. These could have been like awesome carts. But instead, they chose games like Arrow the Acrobat 1 and 2. Blaster Master's on here. That's awesome. Blaster Master's awesome, man. I love Blaster Master. But like Mr. Gimmick, just not really good games. Arabian, I mean, I don't know. I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot with this. They had a good opportunity with these Sunsoft carts. It's the same as like Data East. Data East has so many good games. And, this is the arcade cart. This is actually a really good cart. This has like Bad Dudes and Gate of Doom and Wizard Fire. Just some good games, but then some snoozers like Tumble Pop or Lock and Chase. This Darwin 4078, that game sucked. I'm not a big fan of Burger Time or anything like that. But then, now they're making a Data East Arcade 2. And I have a video on that, and I'm playing every game that is on that cart, that upcoming cart, and it's absolutely awful. So it kind of scares me when it comes to a Sega cart because I just don't think that they're going to give us the best. So I wrote down 9 games that I believe if they do make a Sega cart, this is what I think you should probably expect. So let's take a look at these 9 games and let me know if you agree or disagree. So let's jump into a little bit of gameplay from the 9 games that I believe, if they make a Sega cart, will most likely be on it. If it's not these 9, it'll be something similar to these 9. This is just a guess. So let's take a look at this. So the first game I can picture them putting on is Dynamite Headdy, and this is a platform video game developed by Treasure and published by Sega for the Sega Genesis in '94. The game follows a puppet named Headdy in his effort to stop an evil puppet king from taking over the world. Headdy can throw his head at enemies to defeat them and use it to pull himself to various areas and move objects. The player can find a wide variety of heads, which act as power-ups that provide different effects and alter gameplay. The next game I can definitely see him going after is Rystar. This is a 1995 platform game developed and published by Sega for the Sega Genesis. The game stars a cartoon star who uses his hands and long stretchable arms to both move and fight enemies. Reception for the game was generally positive, but the game's initial release was overshadowed due to the imminent ending of Genesis's life cycle and the succession of the Sega Saturn and other 5th generation video game consoles. Next, I'd put my money on a game like Gunstar Heroes. This is a run and gun video game developed by Treasure and published by Sega. It was Treasure's debut game, originally released for the Sega Genesis in 1993. The game is centered around a pair of characters, the Gunstars, and their effort to stop an evil empire from recovering 4 powerful gems. The characters can fire guns and perform a series of acrobatic maneuvers to fight enemies across each stage. There are 4 weapons in the game which can be combined with one another to create different shot types. Another game I can see Blaze picking is Kid Chameleon, and this is a 1992 platform game developed and published by SEGA, which was released for the Sega Genesis. In the game, a boss character with artificial intelligence in a virtual reality video game begins abducting players, and the main protagonist, Casey, goes in to beat the game and rescue them. He does this by using masks to shapeshift into different characters in order to use different abilities. Another one I can definitely see being picked is Super Thunderblade. This is a combat flight simulation shooter game developed and published by SEGA for the Mega Drive or Genesis console. It was one of the 2 launch titles for the console in Japan, the other one being Space Harrier 2, as well as being one of the 6 launch titles for the console for its US launch. It is the follow-up of the 1987 arcade game Thunderblade. Now, Blaze has a really bad habit of putting some of the worst sports games on their carts, and I think that they would pick ATP Tour Championship Tennis. This is a tennis video game published by SEGA for the Genesis in 1994. It absolutely sucks because tennis fucking sucks. Another possibility is Toe Jam and Earl. This was published by SEGA for the Genesis console. Released in 1991, it centers on Toe Jam and Earl, alien rappers who have crash-landed on Earth. As they attempt to escape the planet, players assume the role of either character and collect pieces of their wrecked spacecraft. It references and parodies 1980s and early 90s urban culture and is set to a funk soundtrack. Another possibility is Echo the Dolphin. This is an action-adventure game published by SEGA for the Mega Drive and Genesis in 1992. Versions for the Sega CD, Master System, and Game Gear were released the following year. It is the first installment in the Echo the Dolphin video game franchise. The player character is a bottlenose dolphin who travels through time to combat hostile extraterrestrials in Earth's oceans and on alien spacecrafts. And finally, I think that we could see Altered Beast. This is a 1988 beat-em-up arcade video game developed and published by SEGA. The game is set in ancient Greece and follows a player character chosen by Zeus to rescue his daughter, Athena, from the demonic ruler of the underworld, Neph. By collecting 3 power-ups in a level, the player character transforms into one of 5 magical beasts. It was ported to several home video game consoles and home computers. Altered Beast was the pack in-game when the Genesis launched in North America and the Mega Drive in Europe. So realistically, those are the 9 games that I think, if Blaze makes a Sega cart collection, I think they're going to be games like this. You know, I know they blew their wad over like Glover and shit on the new Pico, which I think Glover was like an awful game to begin with, but you know, that was a big name for like the N64. So with a small company like Blaze getting it, you know, people are going to get excited over that. Me personally, I didn't get excited. That's just not for me. But I can see them, you know, a big thing would be getting Altered Beast, which, you know, isn't a great game. But I will say this, it's a lot better than Glover. Glover's fucking stupid. And I'd be pretty happy with like Toe Jam and Earl. I mean, I liked that game. A lot of people didn't. You know, everyone has their preference. I'm not making fun of you if you like Glover and shit like that. But these are just the type of games I can see going on a Sega cart if Blaze gets some licensing rights for one. I guess we'll see. So let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. I would love to hear your input on this or your opinions on this. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out this channel a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. And until the next video, game on, everybody.